Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Today on the channel, we are going to be working on some more StubSquad stuff. Specifically, we've got some UX, UI work to do. So there's a couple of changes we want to make where some buttons are and make things a little bit better laid out. And then also, we want to add a notification specifically for when if someone wants to create a season for, let's say, like the NFL, and the season is over and we haven't received the new schedule for the next season yet, we'll give the user an option to get notified when that season gets loaded in, so that they can come back and get everything set up for their upcoming season. So the why of why we're doing this. So obviously UI UX clarity is very important for user retention. People want to come to websites that they like the look of, and so it's important that it flows well and that it's just nice to look at, right? Kind of as a longer term thing, we're probably going to be redesigning the website at some point. I'd still call this a beta of what the actual design of the site looks like. It's functional, it does what it's supposed to do, but I personally feel like it needs a little more personality. And so over the next, I have no idea, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, I would like to have a proper designer come in and look at how each page looks and kind of give it a little bit of flash kind of thing, and not Macromedia flash, but just like some punch, some like to make it look not so generic. And so right now we're gonna do as much as we can, but rest assured, like, this is not what the site is going to look like in its final state kind of thing. So specifically, here's the what we're going to be tackling today. Now, we're definitely not going to be getting all of it, but these are the things that I would like to start knocking off. So on the dashboard page, we want to rename the button to create season, and then move it to a more visible location so that it's obvious what it's supposed to be doing. And then we also want to have we want to add like this idea of so for the admin on the season, we want to have some kind of indicator that shows how many people in their season have locked in their picks. So for example, if you have 2 people in the season and one of them has locked in their picks, that battery should be 50%. If you got 3 people and it's only one person, 33%, that kind of thing. And so we want to have a little battery that shows like kind of the progress of how many people have locked in their picks. And then we also want to have some kind of like the idea that we had was a lightning bolt over the battery when everyone's locked in their picks, kind of indicating that, yep, everyone's locked in, we're good to go. That may change in the future, but just for now, the battery just shows like that the battery is full, the season is ready to go kind of thing. And then as far as the create season flow, there's a couple of UI things that we want to do. So in the header of the progress bar, it doesn't update when you go back. So we want to fix that. We want to update the text to have some kind of hover state, because it doesn't really do anything. It's not even obvious that it's a link. And so we want to make that a little more obvious that they're clickable. And so my first choice, obviously I'm not a designer, is to show some kind of hover state, maybe make the text a bit lighter to make it a little more obvious. And then the other thing we want to do is we want to update the current progress point to show which step they're actually at, because it's not super obvious. And again, the idea that I had was either using the sport that they are currently creating a season for. So if they're creating a season for basketball, that indicator would be basketball. If they're creating a hockey team, it would be a hockey puck, that kind of thing. Or the alternative, and we'll see which is easier and which one we can get to, is when you go to StubSquad, the StubSquad page, in the top left, every time you refresh this page up at the top left here, this sporting icon changes. So right now it's a hockey puck. If we refresh, it becomes a soccer ball, and it's just random every time you go. And so what I was thinking is we could use that same sporting icon in multiple places kind of thing. Again, we'll see how that goes. And so if we go back here, so the the difficulty with having the sport or the icon specific to each sport is that we don't have icons for every sport right now, and so that means we'll have to go basically find some SVGs, tweak them to make them work for our use, color them and that kind of thing. And so that's a little bit more work. It's not saying it's impossible, just kind of one of the implications of having it linked to the sport that you're trying to create. If we just use what's at the top left there, it's really easy to just reference those sporting icons kind of thing. So the other thing though, as far as functionality goes, is if someone wants to create a season halfway through, like let's say they've bought a half season pack for the second half of the season kind of thing, and they're creating the season, we don't want to ingest, or we don't want to create that season and create games within that season that are in the past, right? So if you're creating it halfway through the hockey season, you don't want the first half hockey games even as part of this system, right? So we just want to ignore those games and only include games that are in the future from when this season is being created. If there are a few games that are, like, let's say you buy it just before the beginning of the first half of that season, you can always exclude those games. If your game starts, or if your season starts, 3 or 4 games into the future, you can just ignore those games or block those games as part of the admin system. But this way, it just won't even include any games that were that have already happened, that obviously you're not going to have tickets to. And then finally, the last thing we're going to do is, or that I'd like to get done is, let's say you have a season tickets to the NFL, and you come to the site right after the season ends. So there's no more season left. The Super Bowl's happened or whatever, and you want to start doing your draft for the next season. Well, we might not have the schedule yet. So what we want to do is we want to give the person a form that says, hey, we don't have the season yet. The schedule hasn't been released yet, but we can notify you when that happens, so that once we load in the schedule, you'll get an email notification saying, hey, you're good to go. Let's set up the next season. So just another way to bring back people to the site, to increase that user retention, that kind of stuff. And so I think what we will do today to start off with is the easy stuff, which is going to be this dashboard stuff. This is going to be like renaming the button, moving it. That's the incredibly simple stuff. The battery icon shouldn't be too difficult. And then we'll start working on the progress bar stuff. Again, this is going to be pretty easy. The game ingestion and the notifications is going to take a little more energy, but I'm sure we can get through a good portion of it. I've only got about 2.5 hours tonight to code, so we'll do whatever we can, and then I'll probably end up streaming either tomorrow or early next week to finish off this list of stuff, whatever we can't get completed. So let's just let's dive into it here and get started. So first thing we want to do is rename that share your tickets and move it to the just above where the invites, or where the season sections start. So what we will do is, it's not on create season, it's in the dashboard. Pardon me. Okay, share your tickets. So it's this button here. So we will cut that. And then what do we want to do? We want to put it above here. So right above it's that easy part. Okay, so we can, boom, boom. Now if we just put it right here, does that show up where we want it? Kind of, it doesn't center it, but that's okay. And actually, I think what I want to do is I actually want to make that a part of the div up below here. So let's see. Okay, I like that a little bit better. Again, we're going to center this. So if we go, this here, And let's add, I think it's just MX Auto should center that. No, it doesn't. If we say container, does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay. So let's say width full center. Items, no. Is it self-center? No. What is it showing for the size of the div? Okay, so it is getting the full width. Okay. Just go text center. It's honestly not that bad. I don't like the padding around it. That's okay. Because basically what I'd like to almost have it like almost right up against the top of this padding here. And so if we say, get rid of the margin bottom, get rid of all this stuff actually. Okay, it's still too big. Okay. So where's that space coming from? Oh, I bet you that is the space Y8. Okay, well. So let's cut this out of here and put that right there. Now it should be closer. It's definitely closer. Okay. Is there any margin bottom on here? Doesn't appear. It's the PT6 that's causing our problems here. Oh, maybe it's not. Oh, I bet you there's a spacing on the bigger div. Yes, there's the space Y4. So what if we go like this? Div class equals dark space Y4, and put this in here. There we go. Okay. So share your tickets is now in the correct location. We turn off. Okay. I think I'm going to get rid of. Oh, because now, yeah. So it might not come up on stream very well here, but so this button bumps right up against the dark, the kind of backing of this upcoming seasons section. So, let's see. PT6. Okay, so that's what's happening here. So why is there a line crossing? Is there a dark border? Let's just well, I don't think we actually need a border anymore if we're going to do this. So let's get rid of this. Border none. Border none. Okay, there's still a border B here. Border gray. Border none. Okay, so the border is gone. Padding I think we want this just 4. Okay, and then we want padding below the button. So, we're gonna say PB4 dark PB0 because we don't need the spacing in dark mode because there's no color difference, so it doesn't mean as much. Actually, let's just make sure that that's the case. If we shrink this, yeah, it's still fine. All right. Okay, so that part is done. So let's rename share your tickets button and reposition. Okay, let's go back to Notion. So that's done. Yes, that's done. Okay, battery icon. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out when a season has how many people have completed as a percentage, and because right now we don't have anything like that. So if we look at the ticket season model, there's nowhere that that has like a completion percentage or anything like that. So I think it's probably okay if we just add another method here that says get percentage of how do we want to say this? Get locked in percentage. And this is going to return. Now, I'm thinking here, we're going to return do we want to return it as an integer? I think so. Yeah, okay. So we're going to say, do we have anywhere where we can even just get the locked in? I think we have to get the members. So if we go into SQL Ace and we say ticket season members. Yeah, so we need to get the ticket season members and then look at their locked in. So we're going to say members equals this members. And then we're going to say members. No. I'm trying a new AI plugin called Codium, and that that code is definitely not what we're looking for. So we want to say completed or locked in equals members where locked in is true and account. Yep. And then we're going to return locked in divided by members count times 100. So actually we should probably be doing a test for this. So let's do that real quick. Ticket season test. Oops. Okay. It returns a percentage an integer of how many members have locked in their picks. Okay, and so we want to say how do we want to do this? We want to have this season, so we're going to say this season add member user factory create, and we're going to add three more people. So in total there should be 4 users. And so what we want is we want to say Right, so this is going to be user 3, user 2, user 1. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to actually have a couple of these people locked in. So actually we can do it as like a incrementing step to make sure that it's returning all of the right numbers. So let's say this season get locked in percentage. Oops, we need to go expect this season get locked in percentage to be 0. Okay. Let's just run that test. Okay, so right now that's passing. Okay. And then we're going to say user 1. I don't remember what the actually okay, so what does it return when we add the member? Returns the ticket season member. So actually what we need to do, why is that not, whoa, why is it not letting me multi-select all of a sudden? It's just duplicating. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so now we're gonna get the ticket season member. So now we can say user 1, let's see what the correct, I think it's just lock in, but lock in picks. Okay. Lock in picks. So we're going to say user 1 lock in picks, and then we want this to be 25. And if this seems weird, why we have 3 users, but instead of this being 33%, it's because there's also to create a season, you automatically have to have a user. So there's always like when the ticket season is created, it already has 1 user attached, and we haven't locked in that user's picks yet. So this should be 25%. So there's actually 4 users. Okay, so what are we missing? Failed asserting that 0 is identical to 25. Okay, so let's go take a look. Locked in percentage. Okay, so let's see. Members, this members locked in, where locked in equals true. Okay, so let's just dd locked in right now as it stands in there. Okay, so it's not seeing anyone locked in. That's interesting. So if we say locked in this members fresh, still 0. Okay, so what if we do fresh? That's not how you spell fresh. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try that. Still 0. Okay, so is this method not doing what I think it's doing? Ticket season member lock in picks. Okay, so locked in equals true, and then it's saving it. Okay, so let's see, dd user 1 fresh. Oh, right, because it's hitting that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's comment that out. Okay, so it is getting, okay, so it needed to be refreshed. Okay, so what happens if we don't do fresh and we just do the members? Division by 0. Okay, so that's okay. So we will do members fresh. Okay. And then, I mean, we don't really have to do this, but I might as well. Let's say user 2, user 3, this should be 50, 75. Okay, we can get rid of that dump. And then it should be, I think it's this admin, I think. I can't remember. Let's take a look. Just go to this user. This admin. And this admin. Oh, so that's not going to actually return the admin. So we're going to say this season administrator lock-in picks. Okay, and we expect that to be 100. So call to undefined method, lock-in picks. So that's returning the user, not the member. That's annoying. Okay. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of finagling we can do to try and like look up the user, the administrator. I don't think it matters that much to get this exact, like all 0, 25, 50, 75. Well, you know what? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're gonna say, let's put that back to how it was, because what we need is we need to say admin equals ticket season member, where user ID is this administrator ID first. And then we're going to say admin lock-in picks. Okay. Okay, so why is it bugging out on this? This is just like the static method thing where is not an actual, yeah, non-static method where should not be called statically. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So we now have the percentage, and I want to make sure that it's always returning an int, just because. That should still pass. Okay, and then let's run PHP stand just to make sure that we haven't broken anything. Okay, so we got no errors. We'll run the test suite, and while we're doing that, we will flip back to here, and we will now start adding the battery to the dashboard. So, dashboard. And not on the invitations, it's only for seasons that exist, so upcoming seasons. Yes, and only if the person is an admin. So if they can admin the season. So this is gonna be where the battery goes. Battery. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I'm thinking, let's go take a look at Heroicons to see if there is a battery icon. That would make things very nice. Okay, so, if we go solid, interesting. What we might have to do is, okay, so what I'm thinking is we can have the battery 0 on top of the battery 100, and gradually show more of the battery 100. No, that's not going to work either, because it's not a square. There's a little bit of a tab, so it'll look complete even if it's not, if it's like 99, which really doesn't really matter, but I'm a stickler for pixels. So let's think about this for a second. How can we do this easily? I mean, right now we could just have this battery and then just put another div on top of it that is the completion. So let's see how that looks. So copy SVGX or SVG. Okay, and if we go back here, okay, so now there is a battery, okay. And we want to absolutely position the progress class absolute and set this one to relative, and let's just say height to width to text red, BG red 500, just to, if we can see it, see where it shows up. Okay, so not where we want it. Why is that not absolutely positioning it? Do we gotta go in? No. Top 0, left 0, I think. Left 0. Okay, so it's kind of better. What do we want? We want, we don't want it at the top, we want it at the middle. So, I can never remember the stupid, what is going on here? Tailwind, CSS, and we want inset, top, bottom, right. Okay, so how do we get, so 04, what is 04? Inset Y0. Inset Y0, left 0, right. Okay. Doesn't help us anymore. Let's say it's at Y4. Does that too much? So let's say inset Y2. Okay, that's kind of where we want it. Then left 2, I guess. Let's just see. Nope, left, nope. Left 1. Okay, and so obviously it's not going to be like that. We're going to make it better, but that kind of gives us a vague outline of where that's going to be. So let's say, is there a 3 for these? With 6. So what about with 8? Okay, I like that. We're gonna have to change the sizing here though, so we're gonna say width 2, height 2, left 2, inset Y3. Ugh. Border B, border red 500. You just keep adding a border to the bottom until it's the right size. Border 2. Why is that not adding a border? Yeah, it should be just border B. Well, border B2. Am I going crazy here? That does not look like it's doing anything. Oh, so it's doing it on the inside. That sucks. Okay, is there a way to do a tailwind border on the outside? Border style, solid, no, that's not what we want. Border color, no, border, yeah, because it's doing it on the inside. We want it on the outside, so, how can we do this? What if we say padding to so that's too much, so PB3, and that's too much. So now oh man, if we say border B border transparent, apparently that's not a thing. Okay. If we say dark border zinc, I think it's 800 that we're using there. Border B2. Nope. Because now it's on the outside, which makes no sense. What's going on here? Yeah, like that's happening inside. So why is it happening on the inside there? PB1. Border B4. Yeah, it's just increasing into the div. Okay. That's not going to work. What about if we say, what is the height? So it's 8 pixels. So if we just say, let's just try 10 pixels. Too much. 9. I mean, no, that's still too much. Too little. 10 is too much. Isn't it? Oh, no, that's the right amount. Okay. Just looks weird. Okay. And so, what do we want to say? Left. Is there a 1.5 utility? Probably not. Oh, there is. Okay. What about left 1? Okay. Okay, and so the width, what we can do is we can say, so for the dashboard, we need to say, okay, so now here's the fun part. So if we go into the ticket season, we're going to include this get locked in percentage in the width, so that it will always include that that value as part of the season, except that's going to create an n+1 problem. Okay. So then if we go to the ticket season, the dashboard controller, so we want, actually, so we're going to do another thing here. Okay, so my brain's going in 1,000 different directions. So I'm going to think what I'm saying first. Okay, so we have this function that does this. What I want is a PHP property that includes this. So we're going to make this, we're going to add an attribute to, to the model. And it's been a while since I've done this. So we're just going to go mutators and casting. And defining an accessor, yep, this is generally what we want. And we're going to call this locked in percentage. And it is an attribute. Let's make sure it's importing the right one. Whoa, what is going on here? Yep. Okay, so we want, when we get it, we want the function to return that. So now what'll happen is we can access this function as a property, and then we can also, or we should be able to say invitation, upcoming seasons, user member each season, return item season. Members season. Because that's going to be the ticket season member. We want members dot season dot log. Oh, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we will try it. Yeah, because it's not an actual relationship, it's just a property. Ticket season. Yeah. I mean, right now, I think we're just going to go like this. We're going to say progress. We're going to do ticket season locked in percentage pixels. No, we want. So I guess we need to figure out the maximum, and then. Okay, so let's just duplicate this, comment that out for now, and let's say, okay, so 0 pixels is obviously the max. What is the min? What is the max? 100 is definitely not it. 20. What about 22? Good. Rounded SM. Nope. XS. Is there no rounded XS? All right, well, rounded SM it is then. Okay, so what we need to do is, so 22 is the max. So we're going to say, let's comment that out for now. Uncomment this. And we're going to say locked in percentage divided by 22. Because what we want, that's actually not correct, but I just want to round it SM. Okay, so we want to say 22 divided by that, because what we want is we want the percentage. So basically 22 is the max, and then divided by whatever percentage it is. And this should give us attempted to load lazy load members on model. Okay, but lazy loading is okay. So we need to go into the ticket season. This members. Let's go take a look at our test. I just want to see if changing that to that format is going to break them. Yes, it is. Okay, so we need to say this load members division by 0. Okay, so my math is wrong here. So what do we want to do? Okay, so if the locked in percentage is 0, it should be 0 pixels. Is that the right? 22 times 1 divided by that. Okay, so what we want to say is if there is a locked in percentage, it should be that. Otherwise, it's 0. Okay, so those are showing up correctly. And then so if actually what I'm thinking, okay, so right now, so let's say, like as an example, let's say we have 25% complete. So our math is going to be 22 times 1 divided by 25. Yeah, and that's definitely not what we want, is 22 times 1 divided by 25. Yeah, okay. So this math is still wrong. What we want is times 0.25. And that's what we want, right? 22 times 0.5 is 11. 0.25, yeah, so it should be 5.5. Okay, so what we need is this stuff. Okay. So now if I go make my picks in this one, I think I'm the only person in this. So that's, is it showing me locked in? Locked in 106. Yeah, so this is me for sure. So let's just take this out for a minute and we'll just go 0 pixels and then just below it. I just want to see what number it's coming up with. So 0.22. Okay, so then we also need to convert this back to 100. Times 100. Okay, so right. Okay, so it should be 22. Okay, so this is the right. There we go. Okay, so now it's showing that. And so if we admin, let's just invite another me here. Who am I logged in as? Profile next. Okay, so if we go email invite to next A. Cool. We will log out and then go to ArtQ work. Okay. No, don't care about that. And we're going to log in with that account. Verify email address. Okay, so now we can log out of this account. That can be closed. And so if we log back into Nex, log in, and was it this one? I think it was, but let's just double check. Yes, okay, so there's 2 of me in there. Okay, so if I make my picks, blah, 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 lock in my picks. So why is this not showing there now? Okay, so again, let's put some text down there. So 44. Okay, that's definitely not correct. Man, my math is failing me here today. So we've got the logged in percentage. And if the max is that, that feels wrong, but in a different way. Okay, so 22 times 100 minus that. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fix this because this should not be an int. Returns a percentage of how many members have locked in their picks. So we want that to be that 0.25. That should be that, and this should be 1. Okay, and so if we go ticket season, so this is going to return a, is there a decimal? Yes. Okay, so we don't want that. We want, and now I can't remember the syntax, round int. And we want it to 2 decimal places. And this is going to return a float. Let's go back to our test and make sure it's returning the correct data. Failed at asserting that 0.0 is, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna want, okay. Okay. So now if we go here and so this is just simply going to be this, no, times 100, because it should be just 22 times the percentage that it's complete. Don't know why I make it so difficult on myself sometimes, but let's lock in these picks. Still not showing those ones. Let's put this text back for a second and use this. So what are we seeing? 22 pixels 11 pixels. So why is that one not showing? Oh. Okay, so this is a tailwind thing. We can't dynamically... Oh, that sucks. Okay, so the problem that we're running into here is no longer a math problem. It was a math problem before, but now it is not. And so the problem is that Tailwind's just-in-time compiler scans your Blade files, your HTML, whatever, for the class names that it knows about, and only puts those into the CSS. The problem is that it's not executing the PHP on the fly to get what these values would be. So it's literally trying to create a class, or searching its kind of internal database for like a W dash square bracket and then open curly $ ticket season. It's not actually computing what this number is. And so it doesn't know how to generate that value. And so I'm curious if there is, I know there's a way to like tell Tailwind to create those. What am I looking for? I don't even know, like just in time. No, it's arbitrary values. Yeah, and so if there's, I'm just wondering if there's like a way to like add those. Yeah, I don't think there is. Dynamic class names. Okay, yeah, so don't construct class names dynamically, right? Always use complete class names. Don't use props. Always use map props. So that could be an issue. I mean, there's only 22 potential options. So what I'm curious about, Interesting. Let's take a look at what our rounding options are. PHP round. What I'm thinking is if we just use well, wait a sec. Okay, so we're dynamically trying to grow it, and that's not working because we're using these dynamic classes, which obviously aren't going to get computed. So what did we say the original size was? Width 10? No, width 6? Width 5? No. Okay, so 22 pixels. Okay, so we know that the max is 22. What I'm thinking is no, that's not going to work either. What if I do PL1? Is that doesn't change anything. Close these, delete all, yep. Okay, so that pushes it over. Max width 22 pixels. So if we say that, and then we just say width 1, for example. Okay, so width 1, width 2, and then if we do width 8, it should just fill it up. Okay, so what we can do then is we can say, how do we want to do this? So width 6 is the max, right? Yeah, because width 5 is going to have a little bit of a space at the end there, right? Okay, so how do we want to do this? If we... I know there's a way to there used to be a way, I thought, to say like always add these classes. Safe listing classes. Okay, right. Okay, so here we go. So here's the safe list. So what we can do is we can have its always create all of the width 1 through 6 properties. So let's go to Tailwind, config.js, safe list. Okay, so we've already got a safe list in there. Okay, so this is good. Pardon me. So if we go width 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that will make sure that we always generate all 6 of the first widths, whatever, which is fine, because now we can say this ticket season. What do we want to say? Locked in percentage. So it's, if there is one, we want to do the same thing that we were just doing. 22 times, no, shit, sorry. We need 1/6. Because it's only in between 1 and 6, and so we want to say round to 0. 6 times the locked in percentage times 100. Otherwise, just width 0. That is not doing what we want, so let's put the text down here again, see what it's putting out. So width 600, that's not what we want. We just want this. Width 6, width 3. That's exactly what we're looking for. Width 0, exactly. Okay. 6 times, yeah, okay. Beautiful. Okay, so that actually kind of works. And so the only other thing I'm thinking about is, so the color right now is just, it's always going to be red. And so I'm thinking, instead of it being red always, we can say, okay, so we're going to do a little PHP here. So we're going to say width equals this. Okay. So that's still going to output, still do that. So the width class, and then what we really want is how do we want to do this? So let's actually go like this. So the class is going to be width dot width doesn't even need to be there because we will get a 0 if it's 0, so we can change this to class. So that should still be the same now, but what we can do now is we can also say, let's change this to width class, because we also want to say, so the color class is going to be, so if width is less than or equal to 2, color class is going to be BG red 500. Yep. Else if width is less than or equal to 4, color class yellow. Yep. Else color class BG green 500. And so the good part about this is because these strings are fully encapsulated in the HTML, the Tailwind parser, like the compiler, will see these and know that these are part of, or that these are in its like database of known classes, and so it will compile those and see those. It's only when you're trying to like dynamically generate part of the name of a class, but if you have the full class name here, it's fine. So if we go like this, why is that not changing? Oh, right, because we got to change this to color class. Beautiful. And so now we have a green battery. We got a yellow battery. If let's say there are 3 people in a season and only 1 person is done. So let's just invite another person here so we can see what that looks like. Email invite, we're going to say test@test.com, whatever. Okay, good, that invitation got sent. So now, if we go here, because you probably have to accept the invite first. Okay. Okay, that's okay. So we're going to log out of here. We're going to join the season. Test at test.com. Password. Yep. No, we don't want to save it. Cool. And then we can refresh this. Min. Oh. Probably didn't let me accept it because my email was not validated. Verify email address. Yes, test at test.com. No, we don't want to save it. Join this season. Yes. All right. Okay, so that can be closed. This can be deleted. These can all be deleted. StubSquad, let's log in. No, not as this account, as that one. And there we go. And so it's red now. And so the last thing we want to do is we want to make a little like flashing lightning bolt or something to kind of highlight that everyone has made their picks. And so we're going, I don't want to go to Tailwind, I want to go to Heroicons, buy the Tailwind people. So is there lightning bolt? I guess that'll have to do. Solid, cool. Copy SVG. And so now, the last thing we need to do is, so that's absolute. We're going to do another if width equals 6. No, we don't want end assets. We want end if. And we're going to say div so we need to make this one absolute as well. For right now, I'll just say left 1, left 2, inset y, I don't know, 5 for now, and text yellow 500, pulse or animate pulse. Okay. Do we have one? We do not. Where did it go? So width 6. Even showing up here? No. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, so yeah, I was just using the wrong equal sign. Okay, so let's get rid of that. That is way too low. Okay, so left 1. Inset y3. Why is that putting it there? Oh. Some of you watching probably already saw that. Okay, so now it's still a little too high. Let's make this width 4. So now we can left 2, inset y2. I mean, that is very much a pulsing lightning bolt showing that it's done. Okay, well, my business partner can look at this and see what he thinks. But as far as I'm concerned, that is complete. Okay, so let's take a look at Notion again. So add battery icon to show completeness of season. Fill based on how many have locked in their picks versus not. Lightning bolt over the battery when complete. Okay, we are done. So let's commit this, and we're going to say adding battery and lightning bolt to dashboard. Okay, so what do we have next on the board? Progress bar. So it doesn't update when you go back. Update the text to have hover state. Update the current point with sport specific icon. Okay, so the text is going to be very simple. So let's go share season. So here's what I'm talking about on the progress bar. So right now, if you hover over this text, nothing happens, and it's not super obvious that it's even a link. So what I'm thinking is we're going to darken this by default a little bit, and then on hover make it brighter. So let's go to the create season blade, and this is the progress bar here. So where's the text? Text is here. So we're going to say dark text is by default that, and then on hover status current dark hover text zinc 100 and hover text gray 700. Okay, so if we highlight that, okay, so it's we need to add transition to this. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that's a little more obvious, and then we just got to do the non-active one. So we're going to say on hover text gray 200, and then dark hover text zinc 200. 300. Okay, so no, that's still too much. Dark hover. There we go. Okay, so those look better now. Okay, so have text have hover state. Okay. Doesn't update when you go back. So what the problem is if we start typing, just make flames. So it doesn't turn this one off. And then if we go pick your team, this one stays active as well. So let's just take a look at how we're figuring out which one is actually active. Status current. Okay, so page status. No, that's not what we care about. So create season. So this is the Livewire component that kind of renders that page. So the status, where is it? Page statuses, friend, fake email addresses, status, get current status. From each. Oh, right here. Okay, so right now we're just setting the correct one to current to be true, but the other ones are not being set as true. So we're just going to go this page statuses map function status. We don't even need the key. We're just going to say this, no, status current equals false. Oh, it's array map, right? Okay, so we'll just do a for each instead, whatever. So for each, this page statuses as status current false. Exactly. Now if we refresh, okay, and we create a season, still not changing. So let's go to create season blade, and I want to page statuses. I just want to see type string or array given. What am I? Oh. Okay, so that's awful. So let's wrap this in a span and add some text white so we can actually see what it says. Okay, so where is, oh, bool true, bool false, bool false, bool false. Okay, so if we go choose a draft order now, yeah, it's still leaving bool true as the other on the other one. So why is that? So for each, this page status is as status. They should all be set to false. I'm curious. Are we even looking at the right item here? Do that. Yeah, it's not even. Okay, so it is getting it there. Pick your team, choose a draft order, set a deadline, blah, blah, blah. Okay. False, okay. Create season. So what I'm gonna do again is we're gonna go for each page statuses as status. I'm gonna echo out a div with and for each, and I want to output the status description, status current. And this is going to have to be class text white. Is status a public variable? Okay, so on that's a good question. So the way Blade or Livewire works is any public properties are made available to Blade, and so this page statuses is a public property on this component, and so it should be available. And so like right now, okay, so if we go create season blade, status current, what do we want to say? Yes. Yes. No. And we want this. Again, we're just making this for troubleshooting here. Div, stack those. Pick your team. Okay, so yeah, so it's still not setting that previous one as no. What is going on here? Create season. Okay, so what are we looking at? Select team. No, set visible is the one we want. Set visible. Okay, so anytime we set a new page status as visible, current page status is the key. I mean, it's obviously kind of working because it's doing the setting. It's just not clearing the old ones. Enrique, could it be this status current? So in this loop, no. So like what we're doing is we're taking the page statuses array and then looping over it. So the instance of the variable, like the variable or the array member, I think it's called, is now this status. So it's just going to be like this status current, because what I'm trying to do is basically set them all to false and then just set the current one to be true, like the one that we've passed in with this key, to set that one to be current. So when we're looping through these, what this is basically like is like if we go to here, basically, so here's all the page statuses. So it should be going through each one. Exactly. It only, and it doesn't even live inside the entire function, only within that for each loop, and then it disappears. Set. Oops. Wow, what is going on with my keyboard here? What the hell? Set visible. Okay. This current. So for each, this page status is as status. Yeah, it's not even a. Let's try as key status. Okay, it's not doing the right ones. That's interesting. Set a deadline. It's only doing invite the squad. Okay. What do we want to say? We want to say for each page status as key. No. Okay. So I swear I'm like taking crazy pills here. So key, and then let's go. Where are we? Set visible. Okay. So we're getting the status and the details. Details. Type string on string, of course. Okay, what are we getting if we do this? Okay. So, oh, hold on. Okay, I think I know what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, Calgary, blah blah blah. So, dump status. What about this? Page status is current equals false for the inner loop because PHP doesn't work like Java with pointers. So the reason I can't do that is because the array is actually like a multi-level array. So really this is like each page status is like one of either team selection, pick pattern selection, set deadline, invite friends, which it then itself is its own array of like, so if we go description, oops. And so it's basically like, it's like a multi-dimensional array. And so if we just do page statuses current, that doesn't exist. It's like page statuses something current. And so that's what I'm trying to access. For each page status as key status, current false. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Set visible. Okay, so for each, this page as key status, this page statuses key current false. You nailed it, kind of. Why is that going to invite the squad when it's on choose your draft order? Okay, well, it's kind of working. It's setting the wrong one to true, but that's better than what it was. So let's go like this. Oh, right. Okay, because we're overwriting the thing. So let's go like status, whatever. Change this to status because it was overwriting this key that we're taking in as a parameter to the function. Okay, so now this should work. Okay, so if we go Calgary, legal offset type, what is the problem? Status. Oh, no. Okay, so hold on. As K V. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, Enrique, that's awesome. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I appreciate that. I would have been on that for a while. Okay, so now I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that. Okay. So the next thing, so now it's only highlighting the correct one, which is exactly what we want to show where we are. But the other thing that I wanted to do was, so as part of Notion, okay, so it doesn't update when you go back. So that part's good. Yeah, PHP is awesome. I love it. It's like yeah, I really love Laravel. I can, and I realize like because it's built on PHP, you know, whatever. But yeah, like it's my favorite thing to code in is Laravel. It's just, it feels so useful. And I mean, I don't use half of the Laravel things that I should, but yeah, I love it. Okay, so let's get rid of that debug code on here. Just get rid of that. Okay, so the last thing that we want to do is, it's not super obvious that this is the highlighted one. I mean, now that we've got the text highlighting, it's a bit better. But what I would like to do is get this this logo, whatever sport is showing up, as the icon that shows as the kind of the highlighted one, to show like you're really changing spots. So what I think I'm going to do is, okay, go here, share tickets. Okay, so in the, what is it called? We'll go in the navigation menu, and then there's a application mark. Okay, so is that not where it does it? Navigation menu, application mark. Oh, okay, so it does the stuff right here. So in this component, we do the randomization thing. I'm just thinking, is there a way we can set this? Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll add this as extract this randomization to a middle. Oh, okay, so Okay, I'm just gonna have to think about this for a second. I think we should make a Livewire component, and this is just me thinking through what we're trying to do here. So have a middleware that generates the random the random number to pick the sport that shows up here, and then we can extract this to a Blade component that we can use here and on our season creation thing. So let's go like this. So art make is it just component view, and so we're going to say this is the sport icon. And so let's go X sport icon and sport icon. Whoa. Okay, and so in this component, we will take, now I gotta remember how to do proper passing in data. So Blade directives, components, render, passing data to components. Okay, so if I just pass that in, so we need to have, okay, so let's go like this. We'll just go, so we'll need to bring in some data. That's fine. Okay, put that back. And so now we're just going to change that to sport. Okay. And we will have to pass the, okay, so we'll do one thing at a time here. So let's open up sport icon, and we need to pass in the public int sport. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay, and so that'll take in the sport, And now if we go back to here, we can go sport. And again, this is just temporary, just to make sure that we're not breaking anything. StubSquad. Okay, so if we refresh that, okay, so the icon still works. Okay, that's good. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're not always going to want to have it fade in. And so we will go to sport icon and we will say public bool fade in equals false. And so now, if we don't pass that in, we will say fade in equals true. And if we go to the blade icon, so we're going to make these at if fade in and if. Okay, so again, nothing should change. It should be okay still. They should still be fading in. But now, if we say art make middleware choose sport icon, we can say choose sport icon, and we will just add something to the session here. Session, put sport icon, and we're just going to say, what is the current random value? 1 through 4. Okay, so random int 1 through 4. Okay, and now we should be able to say sport is session get sport icon. Okay, so now there should be a sport icon put on the session every time we refresh the page. What did I mess up here? Sport. Why? Oh, I betcha because it's Blade, we might actually just be able to do this, maybe? Whoa. Sport must be type int null given. Okay, so that's not going to work. So how do we get this out of the session? So we have type int string given. Okay, so what are we doing for, what are we getting for the sport icon? Let's just comment this out for a minute. Not getting anything. Oh, because we didn't register the stupid middleware. Ugh. Kernel, HTTP. It is definitely a Saturday. Okay, so middleware. No, we don't want it there. We want it here. And so someone in my house is apparently destroying the place. Oh well. Sport. What do we call it? Choose sport icon. Choose sport icon class. Okay. So now, if we refresh this page, there should be a number there. I cannot see it. 3. Okay. I'm going to trust that it works. So now if we go back here, get rid of this. Okay, so we have a sport again. Good. And it's changing each time. But now, because we have that access on the session, we can basically do the same thing. We won't need the fade in, that's okay. But if we go to create season and So this is the that's the icon. So let's say div, and we want to say if status current, we want to show that. Okay, we don't want it to fade in. Fade in equals false. Why is that still fading in? Sport icon, if fade in. Let's go. I just want to make sure that there's no like weird capitalization making it skip thing. And then if we go to, so if fade in, navigation menu, and this is going to be fade underscore in. Close that. Fade in should be false. Yeah, so at the very least, we're getting the same sport each time. So at least we're getting we're accessing the data the correct way. Yeah, okay, so it's doing the same thing. So why is it fading in even though we're telling it not to? Inspect. Let's take a look. Man, I hate how this happens. Okay, what are we looking at? SVG. So div SVG. Oh, it's not allowing us to do the if in that block. Why is it not escaping that? I mean, number one, we should really be doing it here. Class equals. Yeah, like I swear this is valid, like that I've done this before with. Yeah, like there shouldn't it shouldn't be too much blade. Like if anything, I'm not escaping it correctly, but I'm sure I've done this before. Like in fact, I was just doing it earlier with the other formatting stuff. If fade in and if. I'm not sure about this framework, but what about for the CSS? So possibly, but I don't like, I was just doing this for some other stuff here. So like, I guess I can put it inside the curly brackets and do the if check that way. It shouldn't matter though. And then we'll just say if fade in yeah, like I don't like this syntax, but it pardon me. I mean, technically it will work. Let's go fade in. I guess we don't even need to do that. We can just do null coalescing. Still not. I'm curious if we go. What does it think the value of fade in is? Text. Inspect. Okay, so text white is okay, so it's not showing anything yet. The animate fade in up is still being set. Go away. Okay, so now it's not showing up there, but it's also not showing up on the top one. Text white. Okay, so if we go to navigation menu and we say fade in equals true. Is it showing up there? No, it's like sword icon. Like, am I typing this wrong here? Sword icon. Public bool fade in equals false. If I need to access those, like passing data, PHP expressions and variables should be passed to the component via attributes that use the. So we need to be setting the colon there to pass it data. So that needs to be a colon. But this one, okay, so fade in equals false. It's like it only wants to do one or the other. It doesn't, it's almost like it's being cached. I'm curious if text white. because once it's prefixed with a colon, it's going to execute this. So this should still work, right? Okay. Fade in should be true on the top one. Export icon. Now, yeah, I'm wondering if, like, if you call the same, no, it shouldn't matter. Like, okay, so again, my brain is just thinking like if you call the same component different times in a single request, is it caching the value, like the contents of that component, so that it doesn't have to re-render it multiple times, even though we want it to be different times. Component attributes. Conditional merge, non-class attribute merging. Scoped slots. Blade component caching. Yeah, this is... This is annoying is what it is. Okay, if I remove this just for the time being. Okay, so it's not fading in at all. If we go art, view, clear. Yeah, so it's not even seeing that value. It's just, I mean, do I really care if it fades in? I don't think I do. Not enough to spend more time on this. So I think what we're going to do, we're just going to get rid of the fade in altogether, which will actually simplify some other stuff. So we can get rid of that and all of this. We can get rid of this. And in our Tailwind config, we can also get rid of the animation, because we don't have one anymore. And where is the white list or safe list? Yeah. All right. So now we go share your tickets. Now we just need to fix where it's actually showing up there and fix the spacing because it's going to the wrong spot. It's adding a bunch of padding, which we don't want. Random sport icon still being created somewhere. It's just so the sport icon. Actually, we can get rid of this value too because we don't need it. Sport icon blade. Yeah, like all it's doing is taking in a value. In this case, like the sport number. And so each number, each random number gets assigned a like we pick a random, or so based on the randomly chosen number, we pick a specific icon. So whether it's a hockey puck or a football or a baseball or a soccer ball or whatever. I mean, it doesn't, I don't care. Like the fade in thing was just kind of a fun thing that I was trying out and ended up keeping, but I'm not tied to it by any means, so I'm fine just getting rid of it. Okay, so we gotta oh right, we need to find where the padding is coming from. So SVG block, yeah, so this is way too wide. Height 7, and we're going to call, say, we'll do width 7. Does that change anything? Okay, so gets rid of the padding, but now we got to fix the logo stuff. Let's fix the logo first. So navigation menu and add some more padding to that. Left, absolute top. So what, if we add 24 here, where does that put us? Left 7. I don't think that's a thing. Wow, that is a lot of refreshing. What is going on with my computer here? Activity. Oh my goodness. Activity monitor. Just OBS? Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's figure out why that's happening. So left 32. Too far. 24. Still too far. 20. 18. Is that a thing? Probably not. Nope. 16. That's going to be too far left, I think. Yeah, so we're going to have to... So what is 20? 20 is 80 pixels, so let's say 70 pixels. 75. Awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate you hanging out here. I do stream most Sunday nights. Tomorrow I won't be, which is why I'm doing today instead. But yeah, I stream every Sunday and then kind of staggered throughout the week when I have stuff I got to do. So yeah, thanks for joining. I really appreciate the interaction and hope to see you soon. Create season. Okay, so we want this to be if status current. We want this class absolute and Z10 Z100. Why is that not showing up on the top? So this is Z20, so this should be on top of that. Is Z100 not a thing? Apparently not. Okay, so tailwind Z index. See, 50 is the highest. Okay, not 5, 50. There we go. Okay, so if we choose here, yeah, that puck is a little... Okay, so let's fix that hockey puck. Attributes, and so sport icon blade, hockey puck, PB1. Okay, so what I'm thinking is here, if we go negative margin 1, that should pull it up a little bit. If it's a hockey puck. I have to fix the football too. Okay, so the hockey puck is now in the correct location. And the football, gonna do the same thing. 8, and then negative M1. Football, soccer, baseball. Awesome. You know, let's just make them all -8. They're all about the same size. That's fine. Baseball, negative M1. Probably the same thing on the soccer ball. Okay, so football. Yes. Beautiful. Okay. That is golden. Okay, so if we go back to Notion here, and we say update current progress bar with sport specific icon, that's good. Do not ingest games that are in the past. Okay. I think that's what time is it? 8:30. Been going for a little over 2 hours here. Do not ingest games that are in the past. I think we can knock this one out. We'll leave the notifications for another stream. Maybe tomorrow if I can get on one. Probably not. Otherwise, early next week. So let's do this. Let's say, what are we trying to do? Ticket season. And so when someone creates a new ticket season, it has to where is the... Okay, so let's go create season, see where it's actually being called. Create season livewire. Okay, so if we go create season. Okay, so ticket season create. Okay, so it's got to be part of the ticket season. So when we're doing this, populate games. Okay, so games, this fresh games from season. Okay, so really what we only need to do is so this games for season, we're just going to have to add another where clause. So let's go to the ticket season test. It does not populate games that are in the past. And so how do we want to do this? Season, split this right. Populate games. Okay, so it's this one. So so the games are this fresh games from season. So if is set game ID. And so what we really want is, just going to pseudocode this out here for a second, and game in the future. Okay, so carbon set test now to be say carbon parse. December 1, 2024. Okay, so what do we want to say? We want to say we're going to pretend we have, what are we already creating? Season. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think we're going to start all the way from scratch. So season, factory. Let's just copy this whole thing because we're going to have to, it's going to be very specific to this test. So I'm fine with just copying and pasting here. Okay, so we have a home team, we have a season. And so factory, okay, and then so we also want to say, okay, so game now is that. I want to set that to now. And so what we want to do is we want to say game factory create, and what is the game factory start date? Okay, so create blah blah blah, and start date is going to be now sub days 1, and then factory create we want to add days 1, and so this should give us 2 games in this in the season, but when we create the ticket season, it should only have 1 game because this one is going to be in the past. So now if we say this season, yeah, season ticket season factory, yes, season ID. So we want to say expect season games count to be 1. Property count does not exist on this collection instance. Season games count. Fail asserting 0 is identical to 1. Okay, well that's not good. Oh, right. There should be 1, or there should be 2 right now. Right, so failed asserting that 2 is identical to 1, and then we want to say if is set and game is in future. So now we got to give the ticket season game a an attribute, and we're going to go back to the docs because I already forgot how to do that. It's been one of those days. Laravel attribute. So we're just going to say protected function is in future, and it's an attribute, so we're going to import that. Okay, and we're going to say function So there is a carbon. What is it? This start date greater than carbon now, and we can actually just, I guess, do that. So in theory, greater than or equal to now, in case it's exactly the same, but that's fine. And we also want to expect that season games first to, I think 2B should give us the same. We want it to be remaining. All this starting with 0 is identical to 1. Okay, so what did we do wrong here? So it's not getting any games, so it's something about this. This fresh game. Oh, because it's not on the ticket season game, it's on the game. So we can go ticket season game. We're just going to cut and paste out of there. So it's not here. We just want the game model. Database eloquent casts attribute. I believe that's the right one. Casts attribute. Yep. Okay, so now if we run this test, what do we get? Attempting to lazy load is in future on model model's game, but lazy loading is disabled, of course. Ticket season. Season game with is in future. Will that work? Collection with does not exist. Okay. So call it undefined relationship. Okay. We do use factory hidden casts. We don't have a with. Okay. Protected with equals is in future. This needs to be an array. Call it undefined. Am I doing this wrong here? Oh, okay, so we need to go like game. Where are we here? So we need attribute make have, we need the array of attributes. And so attributes how about now? Call to undefined relationship. games. Game is in future. Is that not what we called it? Is in future. Oh, I wonder if it has to be in future like that. It has to be in camel case. I don't think that's a thing, but maybe. Nope, still the same thing. Call to an undefined relationship is in future on model. Okay, so then let's just do this the easy way. Ticket season. Game. Start time? No, it's definitely start date, so we will get rid of this for now. So when it's getting games from season, what is it returning? Collection of games. Start date is the correct thing. So populate games. And start date is greater than or equal to now. Hold on. Okay, so I'm not using that anywhere. Is in future. Well, asserting that two models have, okay, so the count is correct and belong to the same table. Okay, that's Bill asserting that two models have the same ID and belongs to the same table. Okay, so which, so let's DD remaining ID, season first ID, and this is going to be, I'm just going to call this like pruned or something, skipped. So we will say remaining ID, skipped ID, and the season games first ID. So the idea is we're going to get three IDs here, and I want to see which one it's actually is remaining. One. Neither of them. Okay. So why is that? Remaining game factory skipped. Season games. Ticket season games. So I am very curious. Season ID. Yeah, there's only one in there, and it's not either of the right seasons. So season. Let's make this a little more verbose. Ticket season. Ticket season ID 2. What are we getting for ticket season ID? Okay, so this is the second season. Okay, so that's good. So where is this? Okay, so game ID 12. Okay. Season games first. Oh, okay, because we're looking at the wrong relationship. Okay, so what is it? It is ticket season. What's the relationship for the ticket season games? Games. So that's the ticket season games, yeah. First. Remaining ID. This is a ticket season game. What is... Oh, because remaining... Right. Okay. So what we really need to be checking is... Okay, so let's go like this. DD remaining and ticket season games first. Okay, so the problem is we're trying to compare two different things, and that's not the right way. So, because one is a game and one is a ticket season game, so we need to like somehow compare the thing. So what we really want to say is ticket season game first, game ID to be remaining ID. There we go. Okay. I am starving. It's 9 o'clock and I need to go eat. And so I'm going to run the full test suite just to make sure this all works and that we haven't broken anything, because I don't particularly want to do that. Do not adjust games that are in the past. Yep. That's not great. There are a lot of failures there. I was really hoping to be done here. Season header. Item not found exception. Ticket season 225. Oh, because for some of these seasons they are done already. Okay. I'm going to continue working on this, I think, tomorrow or the day after. I'm just, I think I'm getting not hangry, but my brain is starting to shrivel up because I haven't eaten in quite some time. So I think we're going to leave it here for now. I'm going to add our note here. So it's not a problem with the site. It's just the tests aren't like, some of the games are being created in the past just as tests. And so we need to update tests to make sure that in general, all games are being created in the future. And that's just, that's something I can do offline here. It's just going to be like a couple of lines in the test to make sure that the dates are always being set in the future. Because generally, even if the fixture data that we've copied from the APIs is setting the game in the past, we can just set it in the future because it doesn't really matter. It's just test data anyway. So, yeah. So we can update test to make sure that in general, all games are being created in the future. Okay. And so, yeah, to review all the things we've done, because we did a ton here tonight. So we did some UI UX to make the site a little more visually appealing by moving and renaming some buttons. We added the battery icon to show when a season is mostly or totally complete or sort of complete. We've got our little flashing lightning bolt on there to show that it's complete. Then also in the status bar or progress bar for the create season, now you've got like a little icon showing that you're where you are in the path, and it also highlights only the correct text with a little bit of hover state to show that it's clickable instead of just being some random text. So if you've stuck around for part of this or all of this, I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back in the next day or two. Just keep an eye out on Twitch, and this video will be uploaded to YouTube hopefully in the next few hours. But yeah, again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the interaction and all the back and forth. And Enrique, I appreciate your help sorting out the for each loop stuff there. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Later.